Hello and welcome to Newfangled Software and this series of videos we're going to be doing on Microsoft Teams. We're going to be starting out explaining how you gain access to Microsoft Teams through Office 365. Then we're going to move on to the basics of the user interface, and then in later videos be covering more detail on the actual specific functionality in Microsoft Teams. So please stay tuned for our later videos, and we will leave some links in the description below to those videos and in subsequent videos. If you like our videos, please click the like button, or if you want to see more of our videos, please click subscribe, and we hope you enjoy this video. Thank you very much.
Wanna ride me, catch a vibe me, go get out me, yeah. Shawty, I'm a riding G, I'm a dying piece, I'm a ride.
Before we can get started on Microsoft Teams, we first need one of two things. You either need a Microsoft 365 account through your organization, or a Microsoft 365 account through your educational institution. If you're the owner of a business, you probably would have created the Office 365 or Microsoft 365 account yourself. So in that case, you would have credentials to actually log into Office 365. So to get started, we would go to our browser, and in our browser we would go to www.office.com. From there, we'll see the Office 365 home screen, and we'll see the Microsoft Teams app from there, and we can open it. The screen that then opens is an option to either download Microsoft Teams and install it on your desktop machine, or you can use the web application of Microsoft Teams. So we would actually recommend using the desktop application. So in that case, you would click on Get the Windows app, and it would download the application, and you would then install it from there. But if you would like to use the web app, you can use the web app and just continue through to the web app. Keep in mind, if you change your mind about the web application and you want to install the desktop application, you can still do that by downloading the desktop application at the bottom left-hand corner. Also, if you're using a browser, that could be Microsoft Edge or Google Chrome, you can turn on notifications if you're using the web application. But for this case, we're going to revert back to the desktop application and go through Teams from that application. So once we're in Teams, the first thing you'll notice is that there's already been a team created for your organization. With that will come a channel called General that's always created for every team that's created in Teams. So just be aware of that. But in this video, we're going to focus on the user interface of Teams first, and then in another video, we'll move on to detail on each and every single aspect of Teams. So on the left-hand side, the first thing we notice is your ribbon or your toolbar, whichever you want to call it. You've got your activities tab there. This will be the tab where you view recent activity within Microsoft Teams. These could be, if we go and look at the filter, unread messages, at mentions of you in other messages or other teams, replies to your messages, reactions to your messages, missed calls, voicemails, recent apps that you've used, or trending posts within your organization. So that there is also a filter there where you can actually search recent activities that you are aware of or looking for. Underneath that, we've got the chat tab. In this, you will have chat functionality. This will be one-on-one chats, private chats, general conversations with colleagues. You can also create groups within the chat section, but again, this will focus more on your ad hoc um, general conversations, not your structured conversations. So for structured conversations and context-driven conversations, we then find ourselves at the Teams tab. Now, in the Teams tab is where you actually create your teams and set up your company or organization structure. Teams can either be departments, or they can be projects, or they can be certain events, if you like. So you can set those up however you want, but there is a structure that needs to be followed, and we'll cover this in a lot of detail in one of our future videos, and I'll leave the links to those at the bottom of the description. So that, moving on from the Teams tab, we've got then our calendar section. Here you can create events, set up meetings with other members in the organization, and you can do that straight from Teams. That will also integrate with your Outlook so that everything matches and you don't have to create events twice, or there's a disconnect between those applications. Underneath that, we've got calls. Again, this can get pretty complicated because we can set up call functionality within Teams. That's an additional cost on Office 365, but you can actually make calls from Microsoft Teams if it's connected to your PBX system or your calling functionality. Then the last tab we can view, we can see there's the Files tab. Now your first option is you can look at either recent documents. You can see this is a new tenant, so we don't have any documents there, but you can look at your recent documents. You can look at any documents shared with you within Teams, and you can download any of those documents onto your machine as well. And then lastly, you'll have OneDrive documents that are available in your own personal OneDrive folder for your organization. Those are only visible to you. Then under the ellipses, we've got additional applications. We've got, of course, Help. We've got OneNote, Planner, Shifts, which is new. We've got Stream for videos, and Stream will also host your meetings and do the recordings of those, and then provide you translations and captions on those. And then we've got Wiki and Who. If we go down from there, right at the bottom, we've got an app section here. These are where you can find all your connectors for Microsoft Teams and Office 365. It's like an app store, but for Teams. Yeah, you can see, for example, something like Trello. So Microsoft does allow software that competes with them, because Trello, for example, is a competitor to Planner, but they do allow you to actually connect to those. If we look at Zoom, Zoom, again, a competitor of Microsoft's, but because they want to be inclusive, they will give you access to actually install that. And we will cover some of these again in future videos. And then lastly, at the bottom, you can see download mobile application. That'll be accessed when you activate or access that from your phone. So you can actually have Teams on your Android or iOS device as well. Then if we look at the top, from anywhere within Microsoft Teams, you can create a new chat with anyone. That's will be visible under the chat section. We've got a search bar here where you can also run commands, and those commands again will be covered in detail in a future video as well. So please keep your eye out for that. subscribe to our channel, click the like button so that we can get those videos out as well. And that would give you the general UI or user interface for Microsoft Teams to help you get started. Please have a look at our next video where we will be covering the functionality in each of these tabs that we've gone through now in more detail. And thank you very much for watching this video, and I hope you have a good day.